Let's talk about delay. Delay. Yeah. So I've been playing guitar for a while, and I've been overlooking delay pedals, and I want to make sure that you're not doing the same thing that I was. Um, so for those that don't know me, welcome, and I appreciate you coming to my channel and stuff. My name is Billy Red Wallace. I play blues, soul, and funk music in Nashville. Been here a little bit under a decade. I played in my buddy's band, and yeah, just trying to make a go of it here in Nashville. And I'm also the amp guru at Tone Central Station. If you've seen those things float around YouTube, I'll put that all in the description down below. But anyway, brings me back to delay pedals, right? Delays. So this pedal right here is the delay that I've used 3-4 years, maybe 5 years, maybe longer. I don't even remember when I got it. I know I've been playing it for a hot minute. And you can see my settings on there. It's pretty, did it focus? Kind of, no. Okay. Well, you get the point. They are very non-existent. I use it as a slapback. That's it. And it works. It's just a slapback is how I use it. Nothing more, nothing less. I've never really used long delays. I have a Helix, and when I bring that, I have a longer delay, but it's really not. It's just a simple repeat. It's the same thing you would get from like a carbon copy or something like that. Really, really basic. No mod on it. Nothing, spectacular. Anyway, I'm scrolling through YouTube, as we all do, as I'm assuming you do because you're on here watching this. I come across this guy. And for those that don't know, this is the Keeley Halo. It's Keeley Electronics and Andy Timmons collaboration for a delay pedal. And it's a dual echo. So I still need a slapback. And the only reason why I use a slapback is so it doesn't feel so honest whenever I'm playing, especially on stage and you're hitting it and it's like sudden. It doesn't weird me out, but it definitely cools me out knowing I have some relief in there. And when I'm having a really good night, I may not need it, but when I'm having a bad night, I really, really need it. But anyway, so that brings me to that. So really the only way I'm using it is, this has 8 presets that you can put in. You don't even have to use them all, but I'm really going to use 2 for the majority of the time and maybe 2 more, but I'll explain that. One as a slapback that I've always had, and one as like a little bit longer thing for when I'm ripping. What's cool about this is I've like tried to like dial it into like the Aquapus kind of thing. And I'm not exactly able to do that, but what I was able to do was to get it very, very close to like an Echoplex, which is kind of cool. I'm a big like blues Stevie Ray Vaughan and Andy Timmons, kind of thing, and that works. I'm cool with that. So basically, the whole point of this that I'm trying to get across is, if you if there's a pedal or there's a type of effect that you don't mess with or you haven't played or whatever because you just don't do it, I urge you to go to your local music store and um, play around with stuff and just something you wouldn't recommend doing. Because now my whole pedal board this is like the first pedal of many that I'm going to be like doing this kind of thing with. But my whole board is in flux mode right now. It's just constantly, um, you know, stuff's going to be coming off, stuff's going to be coming on. Nothing is permanent. That's kind of what I've learned. And the other thing that I've learned is I like the idea of just putting back a bunch of pedals like this. Kind of like really my dream is to be like Josh Scott and have like my back wall be entirely pedals. I'm getting there, one pedal at a time. But and I was always intrigued with delays because one of my old guitar players in my band, Chase, he used a HX Stomp, and he had some of the craziest delays I've heard in person. He was a mini Edge, as we like to say. But I recommend trying this thing out. This thing, if you're not a serious delay person, even if you are, I think this gives the timeline one hell of a run for its money. If you're not using delays like all the time and you're not like, really dial in delays and not a delay guy, like, delay is literally your god. This is kind of your thing. It has 8 presets that you can get to as quick as the timeline, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying this is better than the timeline. I think the timeline is better. But for me, and I think 90% of the players, I think this would be better than the timeline because it's just so simple. You have 2 at your display, and it didn't cost as much as the timeline. That's really the thing, and it's smaller. Like, look at that. Like, God, And you have a tap. You have, I recommend going and playing this and seeing what. And also, one thing, if you did buy this or you're watching this video to see how to use it, this isn't a review. I really don't do reviews. But one thing I do want to do is tell you how to make a preset, because it took me a minute to figure out how to make a preset. The manual wasn't that clear to me. Or it might be that I just can't read. That might be possible too. But and there wasn't any videos I saw that they told you like what every knob does and like what the defaults and stuff do, but they didn't tell you how to make a preset. And it's very simple. So you click this middle button in like that, and then you hold A or B. And then that tells you what you that tells you what preset you're going to. Anyway, that's all I got, y'all. I appreciate you watching. Until next time.